This time we're talking damp proof membrane. Now, why would you use this instead of just using sand and cement like we've been doing for decades? Per 25 metre roll we find, because we're pinning them literally every 200 mil, we're firing a pin in. The reason being is because this is so flexible. If you only fix every 300, which is advised, you will get a bit of this going on, a bit of flex, and of course when you're plastering onto that, it can cause issues, especially if you've got quite a big pocket that's flexing, and you're trying to compress with the trowel. It's just going to keep bouncing, so you'll find that you need to fire in a lot of pins, especially if you're working on an old Victorian property. You'll have bricks set in 20 mil, you'll have bricks protruding 10 mil. The brickwork will be all over the place. I mean, some of these properties have survived the Blitz, and they've been knocked about. So in an ideal world, this would be going onto a nice flat surface, and you'd have neat fixings every 300 mil. It'd be nice and flat, ready to take your plaster. But again, what we find is we're having to sort of fix this product whenever and wherever we can into some decent bricks. So you'll find that you will need to pepper this product with plastic fixings to make sure you've got a good anchor ready to take the plaster. We've actually been using thistle bonding coat to put a scratch onto this. Once that scratch coat's solid, it does firm up the membrane a bit, ready to take that float coat. Get your scratch on, let that go, and then float it up. Although you can do it in one pass, but you will need to make sure, again, you will need to make sure you've got a hell of a lot of fixings in there to stop any bounce in the membrane. If you've got enough margin on your plaster line, or if you're hacking back floor to ceiling, you can dot and dab over this product. I would suggest using a polyurethane foam such as the Soodle plasterboard foam. It gets a bad press amongst plasterers, the foam, because it's seen as a builder's or a DIY product. Don't overlook the foam, because the foam comes in very useful on damp work when you're working with damp. Gypsum dab absorbs moisture. The polyurethane foam blocks moisture. No moisture can get through that, so it's fantastic for damp work. Also, the foam will bond well to this plastic. This is essentially a plastic sheet, so personally I wouldn't feel comfortable chucking dab directly onto this, although it has got the mesh. Any kind of movements or vibrations, and there is that risk of it popping off the surface, because it is plastic at the end of the day. With the bonding coat is designed for low suction surfaces, and that's why we use it as a scratch coat, ready to take the float coat. It's an easy product to trim. Just use your knife, make sure you've got a decent blade in there, knife around your sockets and your switches and your pipes. Again, make sure you get plenty of fixings in there. We're going to do loads more vids. We're going to do some videos on internal wall insulation, soundproofing, repairing old plaster work using mesh. We're going to be doing sand and cement work. So please subscribe, stay tuned, join Trowel Talk. It's a growing group. There's loads of good spreads on there. You'll find value on the group, you'll find something of value. Enjoy the video and speak to you soon. Hello guys, how are we? We're installing a Delta membrane on this one. 9-inch solid walls, solid concrete floors. High ground levels on the outside, so French drain's gone in to run off the rainwater. And we've hacked off 1 metre high contaminated plaster all the way around the roof. We've installed a Delta membrane, followed by wet plaster finish to match in with the existing. The alcoves, we've used a Thermaline, 30mm Thermaline board. And the fireplace, we've put a vapor board right the way across. And we're going to install a vent on there as well, just to make sure that the airflow in the chimney breast. The mat's just hacking off the hall. It's the entire ground floor, so the mat's just hacking off the hallway. The old mat's gone for this one. Get this Delta membrane installed, and I'll pick up from there and we'll show you what we're up to. I just thought I'd show you quick. One of the reasons we're getting so much moisture trapped inside the plaster line at the base of the wall, we've actually replastered using gypsum. As you can see here, looks to me like it's a hard wall with a skim top. Probably the worst material you could use for reinstating plaster once you've damp proofed. This was damp proofed back in the 80s. It's had drilling injection that's failed, it hasn't worked. It's likely because they've used this gypsum. Okay guys, not only have they used hard wall here when they've replastered following a DPC, but they've also plastered right down to the ground, something we see fairly often when we're damp proofing. The problem with doing this is it's going to draw moisture from that concrete floor. Right, so that's all the gypsum and cement chip back, clean back. Let's get to work and get this membrane installed. Again, thank you for watching Trowel Talk. Are you a plasterer looking to develop yourself and develop your career and learn from other experienced plasterers? If so, join our group Trowel Talk on Facebook. It's a positive space for you to share your work and share your ideas, a place where plasterers can gain knowledge but also share knowledge. Thanks again for